Each table has a section of the middle watershed. So these maps are different. Each table has its own unique set. Everyone should have a large one of these, and then there are smaller versions for each person at the table. Visioning, what are the opportunities that seem most apparent in each of your sections? And we'll do the same thing. So we'll take about 30 minutes for this exercise. Keep time on people and make sure somebody record it. You can make marks on your individual maps, but somebody will be responsible for consolidating what the group wants to talk about on the large map. Appoint somebody to report out and discuss. Is this a clear exercise? Does anybody have any questions? Yeah.
My map has got blue lines all over it. Is that the historic path of waterways?
Yes.
What are we specifically hunting for?
Identify on your maps where it's evident, where are the schools? Those might be places to start.
People just don't know or understand.
We thought that by naming, these are all silly names, but if you named them, then people could understand it's a real thing. So
Because it runs on Francis Street.
Pico Swale, so people are like, what's the swale? St. Vincent Vernon Park, mouth of the whale, right down here.
And then it's in
City.
Cochrane.
Right.
This is where the creek does come out and come above ground at that point, so it's the mouth. And
You know, we all have seen the watershed signs in other states when you go on vacation and they tell you you're entering or leaving the watershed. I'm from Seattle. And so everybody knows where their watersheds are and what the names are. In LA, we don't, people are like, a watershed, is that where you keep your water? Or they don't know what it is.
Table number 3, you're on.
This is the zoom in that we ended up working with. In post sunset here, down, almost Highland, and down to the impacted area. But the low-hanging fruit that everybody picked out was the golf course, which is larger now. Golf course. Here it's very dark, but it's right here. Golf course, the Wilshire Country Club. So we always want to go into private land and tell them what to do with it. So, in order to sell that, we had to figure out different ideas and graduate how to do it. So there's a stream running through this, a historical stream running through it. And we saw the infrastructure bringing the water down here through the storm drain. There is a little water feature here. There's a small bridge that goes this way, but the natural flow of water in the basin is southwest, going this way. So we were saying, bring some of that storm water in, put it through the golf course, whether it treats itself in the golf course in a swale. It would never be a running stream, but you'd have a place that you put the rocks in and show the pattern of the stream for the big floods and bring the water all the way down. If it makes it all the way through, then it's filtered on a big storm day. It's got some filtration going on it, and then we can either go back into the storm drain and then make its way over this way into another basin, or it could be dealt with here at 3rd Street in some sort of retention basin and dealt with that way. You can also reuse the water. If you're selling one sort of water feature that would enhance their golfing experience, that's easy for everyone to understand. And you tell them, bad company for using a bunch of water, so you should try and capture some and reuse this water. So then they can do cisterns, and then they can clean the water, use it on site. So it's all about graduating it towards what's in it for me. That's always been the mentality, not like, we need you to do this. And once we got past that fantasy, we went and said, let's make it a natural area. Let's make it a links course, use native plants, which actually ties into what they would want to do ultimately to save water. So it's an education process that we had some genius ideas about when cars go away. Talking about some of these large infrastructure of storm drains that are coming through Larchmont Village and coming through the Hancock Park area. One runs along Norton and one runs along Irving. And we said, well, if you close one of those streets and just say, okay, now you can only take Norton. Irving is now, daylighted or whatever, and it becomes a bike path or, water feature. And instead of having a median, you just eliminate a street. So that's another fantasy in one sense of the word, but we did talk about a time when cars aren't needed and people are just going to ride their bicycles and all that, the parking lot's going to go away and all that stuff. So I like going that place because that's a happy place. On a street that we can take out and create it, it's more green infrastructure, and then put in mandate 50% of it has to be green. So we ask for the extreme and then negotiate back.
Fingerprints on that.
Wilshire Boulevard. We talked about Wilshire being a really great corridor visually corridor for people that come down and they see Wilshire on the streets, they see buildings, and you look out here, you know, there's Wilshire, that's buildings going all the way down to downtown. Well, how do we beautify that corridor? Knowing that we mentioned the metro rail being put in, and what if when they dug all that up, they left some space for green, that would have been nice too, like now it's back in. But all the transit-oriented development that's coming, the private business owners have an incentive to do some greening. And I've seen some of these walkways that come out of the subway and into this beautiful cement, you know, feature. Why not make it a grass feature? Why not capture some of the
Good
water?
question.
Yeah, so there's probably opportunities along Wilshire, not a long stretch of things, but different pockets of things that you could do that would be water features, that would beautify Wilshire and make it less gray and more green. The studios, though, are a good opportunity because they're a very big moneymaker. That's a private entity that might want to do some good greenwashing. So we talked about Paramount trying to make some, you know, break up some of their cement and create some thoroughfares. All their roads could be opened up and absorb water and manage some of the water on site. There's a school right next to the cemetery that could happen. For everyone, Van Boulevard is running here, so I'm going to take it out of the abstract. The studios are, it's getting hard right here. All this gray infrastructure next to the cemetery. So you got the green and the gray. So the green is below the gray, right? You can capture that water and treat it here, and then there's a school right here. So between all three of them, now the school right here down at the bottom. So between all three of them, you had an opportunity to do multi-benefit opportunities. All right, thank you very much.